All right, this is the quiz review for our Chapter 3 quiz, which is just adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing all types of polynomials. So pay close attention to signs when we get to that point. Number 1 is just simplifying using exponent rules. So we are going to simplify each version, and then we're going to identify the degree of each polynomial. So starting with number 3, oh, not 3, we should start with number 1. This is multiplication, so we are going to multiply the coefficients. 2 times 5 is 10. X to the negative second times x. Add the exponents, which is x to the negative 1. Y to the fourth times y. Remember, there's an imaginary 1 here, so we add the exponents, y to the fifth. Fully simplified, this would be 10 y to the fifth. We have to drop the x only, because it's the only one with a negative exponent, to underneath the fraction bar. So this is our simplified version. It asks us what degree it is. This is not a polynomial because it has a denominator variable. So I do want you to simplify it. You just need to recognize that it's not a polynomial once we get it all simplified down. Number 2, we're multiplying again. 3 times 2 is 6. X to the fifth times x, we would get x to the sixth, and then y to the negative second times y, y to the negative 1. Fully simplified, we are just going to drop this term underneath the fraction bar. So this is my simplified, and it is not a degree because it's not a polynomial. Okay, number 3, let's start with our x's, which simplifies to subtracting. X to the fifth minus x to the first gives us x to the fourth. And then if we do our y's, y to the sixth minus y to the second gives us y to the fourth. Okay, now because this is one term, we will add their exponents, and this would be the 8th degree. 4 plus 4 is 8. Number 4, start with our x's. X squared over x, 2 minus 1 gives us x. And then y to the 7th over y to the 9th. 7 minus 9 is negative 2. Not simplified because we cannot leave a negative exponent, so we only need to drop the y, which is going to give us x over y squared. And this doesn't have a degree because it is not a polynomial because it has a variable in the denominator. And then finally, x to the third taken to the fourth. When we have a power taken to a power, we multiply the exponents. 3 times 4 is 12. So this is x to the 12th. This is to the 12th degree, because our only exponent in our only term is 12. All right, now we're getting to operations. So be super careful that you're watching the signs and the operation symbols. So are you adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing? Make sure you do the right thing. This is addition. So we were going to just remove the parentheses from all expressions. So remove the parentheses and then combine, oops, I forgot the x squared here. Combine like terms. So 6x squared plus 4x plus 14. Oop. Okay, number 7 is subtraction. So we are going to distribute this subtraction sign to every term in the second expression and then remove all the parentheses. So the first expression stays the same. Distribute the negative sign. Negative times negative gives us plus x squared. Negative times negative gives us plus 4. And then combine like terms. So 3x squared. There's only one x term, so plus 3x. And then our constant plus 3. Okay, addition again. Remove the parentheses. 3x plus 3y plus 4x minus 5y. Combine like terms. So the x's are like terms. 3x plus 4x is 7x. And the y's are like terms. 3y minus 5y is negative 2y. Number 9, we are multiplying now, so we need to distribute this term into both terms inside the parentheses. So 3x times x squared y, 3 times 1 is 3, x times x squared, add the exponents, x to the third, and then y times 1. Plus 3 times 3 is 9, x times 1 is 1, y times 1 is 1. Number 10, subtraction. So we're going to distribute and remove parentheses. X squared plus 5x minus 6. Distribute the negative. Negative 4x squared minus 2x minus 4. And then combine like terms. Negative 3 x squared plus 3x minus 10. Number 11, we have a binomial. You cannot, the temptation is to do this and just square both of these. You cannot do that because it has a subtraction sign, because it is a binomial. What we actually have to do is x minus 1 times itself. And then we FOIL x squared minus x plus 1. And then combine our like terms. X squared minus 2x plus 1. Okay, same thing here. Make sure that you don't just distribute the 2. You actually multiply it by itself. So x squared plus 5x plus 5x plus 25. And then combine your like terms. X squared plus 10x plus 25. Okay, when we have a binomial into a trinomial, first, we are going to distribute the x into every term. So multiply each term by x, 2x to the third minus 2x squared plus 6x. And then we're going to, erase the red. Then we're going to distribute the 4 into every term. So we take our 4, and now this goes to every term inside the parentheses. So 4 times 2 squared would be plus 8x squared. 4 times negative 2 minus 8x plus 6 times 4 is 24. Then we just combine our like terms. So there's no other x to the third, 2x to the third, x squareds. 8 minus 2 is plus 6x squared. X is 6 minus 8, negative 2x, and then our constant plus 24. Okay, and then this is division. So you can use long division or synthetic division or sort of basic simplifying division, which like number 14 is going to be. So this one, we just need to sort of divide each term by x squared y. So I'm going to split it up. I'm going to say 5xy to the 6th over x squared y minus 2xy over x squared y plus 3x to the 4th y over x squared y. And then I'm just going to simplify each of these. So in our first term, we subtract, and we are left with x to the negative 1 and y to the 6th, or 6 minus 1, so it would be y to the 5th. So like this, 5x to the negative 1, y to the 5th, minus 2. Simplify our x's. This is x to the negative 1. Simplify our y's. That just becomes y. So 2x to the negative 1 plus 3. Simplify our x's. 4 minus 2 would be x squared. Y minus y is 1. So that goes away. Last step is we have to make sure that we simplify and don't leave any negatives. In this first term, only the x needs to drop below the fraction bar. So we get 5y to the 5th over x. In this one, also, only the x needs to drop. The 2 is fine. So minus 2 over x plus 3x squared. Okay. 15, we could use synthetic division here because we have the proper form. So that's going to be easier. So remember, we switch the sign of the constant and then put the coefficients of each of the polynomial terms. Bring down. So 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. 3 minus 6 is negative 3. Negative 3 times negative 3 is 9. Negative 4 plus 9 is 5. Negative 3 times 5 is negative 15, which leaves us with a remainder of 0. That's great. Then we write our final answer using these as coefficients and plugging in variables 1 degree less than the original. So 2, the original is x to the 3rd, so this will be x squared minus 3x plus 5. And that is our quotient, our answer. Okay, remember we sometimes see division written like this because what this means is we're going to drop that value below the fraction bar and make this division. So we kind of like rewrite it like that, okay? So then if we do our synthetic division, we're going to take the opposite sign of what's in the binomial, put in our coefficients, and do our synthetic division. 2 times 3 is 6, that's negative 2. 2 times negative 2, negative 4. 11 minus 4 is 7. 2 times 7 is 14. So great, we get another 0. We don't have to write the remainder. And our final answer will be 1 less degree. So put our coefficients, and this will be x squared, because it was x to the 3rd to start, minus 2x plus 7. All right, and then number 17, we can use synthetic division here too. So we have 2. Be super careful. This one has a missing term. So we have the 4th and the 2nd. So we have to make sure we put a placeholder 0. So we'll get 6, 0, negative 8, 12, negative 14. And then do our synthetic division. 2 times 6 is 12. Add 2 times 12 is 24. Minus 8 is 16. 2 times 16 is 32. 44. 2 times 44 is 88. This does not give us a pretty remainder, so we have to write it accordingly. So 88 minus 14 is going to be 74. So 1 degree less than our original. 6x to the 3rd plus 12x squared plus 16x plus 44. And then we write the remainder as that number that we got, 74, over the number, the binomial that we were dividing by, over x minus 2. So this is our answer with our remainder.